Hello, it's Chris Collenette, Chairman of the Ireland-Canada Business Association, the representative voice for over 100 companies working between the two countries, with over 80 of them Canadian companies with operations in Ireland, employing over 15,000 people. I'm here today with John Riordan, who is the Director of Support for Shopify, a leading Canadian internet company. And the way I can best describe it is it provides a turnkey solution, an e-commerce solution for any businesses, large or small, to get their products online into the market. So I'm here with John today. I'd like to ask him a little bit about the company's decision to set up in Ireland. Mm-hmm. What attracted you to the country, and perhaps a bit more about your operations here.
Hi, Chris. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to chat with you today. Shopify started in Ireland in the middle of 2015, and let's step back a little bit behind that. Shopify needed to expand the support offering around the world, and not just have it based in North America. And Ireland was looked at amongst other countries and was chosen because of the talent pool here in Ireland. We chose to start in Galway. We built a very small group in Galway, about 50 people in Galway, and now that has spawned over the last 4.5 years. That has expanded enormously, and we're well over 300 people, all remote, all working from home. So we have no office, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Wow. And so would you say that that's sort of the way of the future, is that the companies, especially internet-based companies, would have remote services, right, remote staff across the world?
Yeah, I think work from home is going to be far more a part of the working in the future than it is now. Any research that you look at will talk, employees will rate it as highly as compensation, the ability and the flexibility to work from home. The technology is there, from a video technology, from a broadband technology, from messaging apps like Slack, etc. So the technology is there. It's just a case of a mindset change. And what you're seeing is the younger, smaller, disruptive type companies are choosing wisely not to invest in significant real estate when they don't necessarily have to.
I suppose that is a large cost saving, isn't it? And it will attract employees.
Yeah, I mean, it is a large. I wouldn't advocate doing it just for cost savings, but it affords it gives you a wider talent pool in which to choose, and it gives people an opportunity to live where they'd like to live, not forcing them to live where they need to work. We're actually almost counter-cyclical to some of the others. The larger companies, larger technology companies that are based here in Ireland are very much city-centric in Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway, etc. And while we do have a concentration of people from those areas, what we've actually found is that we've done extremely well in the smaller towns. The very nature of the remote model affords people the opportunity to live where they want to live. And as such, we've picked up quite a lot of really interesting, good talent from some of these other companies where people have just made a choice. I want to live in town X, as opposed to, having to pay, $2,500 for an apartment in D4. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very interesting. And are you finding that at the college level, the graduate and the level of graduates coming out have the technical experience or education to fill the roles you're looking for?
Yeah, interestingly enough, we do not mandate a college degree to work in support for Shopify, and there's a specific reason for that. We believe there are tons of talented people out there who've chosen not to go the college route. We will get the folks with a college degree in any case. But we also have a wider group of people, many of whom have taken steps down the entrepreneurial, onto the entrepreneurial stage themselves. And that's a really rich talent pool for us, because essentially we're supporting entrepreneurship around the world, and who better to support entrepreneurs than
entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs. And as we all know, the world is full of failed entrepreneurs trying to be successful entrepreneurs, and each can each can help the other.
Well, I'd say every successful entrepreneur has been a failed entrepreneur at some point or not. And then let's talk a little bit about the cultures between Canada and Ireland. One of the things that our members often comment on is that the cultures are very similar. And of course, there are up to 14% of Canadians herald some sort of Irish ancestry. But we have a similar language, I suppose. Also, it's relatively easy to travel. There's now direct flights to Toronto, Montreal, Calgary, and Vancouver. I mean, are those some of the reasons which Ireland was chosen?
Yeah, don't forget there's non-stops to Halifax as well.
Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Yeah. All our Atlantic Canadian friends, apologies.
Don't forget the Maritimes.
I won't forget the Maritimes. That's great.
Yeah, I mean the two countries. There's a great similarity between the two countries, and one of the ways I like to look at it is it's Ireland, not the UK. It's Canada, not the US. But to a large extent, the markets themselves are relatively blended between Ireland and the UK and Canada and the US. So it's almost like a slightly different entry point into two combined markets. There's also a real similarity in terms of the people, and I think you mentioned it there. There's definitely a very interesting bond between the Irish and the Canadians, and long may that continue.
I just recall that about 18 months ago, you were quoted in an article, as was I, with regards to the Canadian invasion of Canadian companies to Ireland. And that is one of the aspects you pointed out, that the relationship between Canada and the US is similar to the relationship that Ireland has with the UK, whereby we are living next to a behemoth economy, and we are affected by anything that takes place. And that so perhaps we understand there's a kinship there that of the two countries, and mentality that we can understand. We're also both export-driven countries, and we recognize for future growth, export is key.
Well, I think there's another aspect to it, Chris, is that discerning companies have a choice of going into Ireland or the UK or Canada or the US, and many of them are making a really conscious decision to be in Ireland rather than the UK with Brexit and many other things. And it's a choice that Canadian companies looking for a beachhead in Europe, looking for an English-speaking beachhead in Europe. Quite clearly, Ireland is the place to have that beachhead rather than the UK at the moment.
Well, that's what we're telling people all the time. And I mean, look, in no way do we say you want to cut off an ability to service the UK market of 60 million people. It's an important market. But yet from a security standpoint, and just knowing what's going to take place in the next couple of years, we would obviously advocate that Ireland's a great base for that.
Well, there's another aspect of it as well is talent. Mm-hmm. Ireland was recently voted the third most livable country in the world. I
saw that, yeah, last week.
Last week, yeah. So it is an attractive place to live, and I think one of the other stats I saw recently was that 60% of the jobs that have been created in Ireland since 2012 have been sourced abroad, as in we've got constant migration in Europe into Ireland for people looking for jobs. So not alone are we a really good English language based country, but we are a country that's well stocked with other European languages. So it really is a strong beachhead, which is why a lot of the discerning and smart companies are linking into Ireland. Like Brexit is both an opportunity and a threat for Ireland, and I would like to focus on the opportunity side of it. And I think the talent side of that opportunity is going to be one that most Irish companies, if they play their cards correctly, I think they can really, really launch themselves far, far deeper into the world market.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, certainly some aspects of the Irish domestic economy will obviously have to have a recalibration, and that's something. But I would hope that fosters innovation, and that innovation will just result in the Irish Indigenous companies becoming more competitive in their sector.
Absolutely.
So look, John, I think there's a fantastic discussion. Thank you for joining us today, and here's to continued growth for Shopify in Ireland and across Europe and the world in the years to come.
Thanks very much, Chris. Appreciate it.